As we're getting closer and closer to the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the preliminary box office predictions have been coming out, and after the not so great critical reception it got at the Cannes Film Festival, things are not looking good for Disney and Lucasfilm. On June 2nd, from Box Office Pro, preliminary opening weekend ranged from 81 to 111 million dollars, with a domestic total range of between 225 and 380 million dollars. However, over the past 6 days, that number has gone down, and it is definitely not looking good for the Dial of Destiny. In this article from the Hollywood Reporter, box office Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny tracking for a 60 to 70 million dollar debut. My goodness, if that is the case, this film is going to bomb worse than its predecessor. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny hopes to set off early 4th of July fireworks. How can you write that? You sit there and you predict 60 to 70 million dollar domestic debut, and you start your article with hopes to set off fireworks? Disney and 20th Century Fox. Did I say that right? Disney and 20th Century Fox, long awaited, nobody wanted this, next installment of the live-action adventure franchise is pacing to open at 60 to 70 million dollars over the June 30th to June. Wow. I almost read that out loud. June 30th to July 2nd weekend. Where are your editors? This is the Hollywood Reporter, and you can't even get good editors for this one. Wow. Let's see. According to early tracking, that's on par with Mission Impossible, Fallout, and No Time to Die, and those films didn't face such a crowded marketplace. The fifth and final installment, depending on who you talk to, there's only 3 movies. Crystal Skull was terrible. Returns Harrison Ford as the swashbuckling archaeologist Indiana Jones. There are leaks that came out for this movie that do not sound all that promising, and the Cannes Film Festival reviews were people aren't really liking it all that much. 80-year-old actor stars opposite Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who likes to tank movie franchises. Antonio Banderas, John Rhys-Davies, Toby Jones, Boyd Holbrook, Ethan... Oh, this is blah... Okay. Mads Mikkelsen. The movie... I'm going to move on. The movie is a sequel to the 2008's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which never should have been made either, which posted a 3-day... debut of $100 million 15 years ago. Tracking is often on the conservative side. Also, Disney marketing machine still has time to pump a bit. There is no interest in the Dial of Destiny. People aren't talking about it. The only thing they're talking about it is in a not so positive view. Again, this is a result of them putting it out at Cannes 3-4 weeks ahead of the box office, of its box office debut, the theatrical debut. Why on earth would Disney do this? Maybe they were expecting a better response, but no, there was no interest, a lack of interest, and apparently the French audience were talking about other things during the movie. Is that because it was too long? Maybe the French audience wasn't interested in Indiana Jones whatsoever, but regardless of the reason, people they tuned out. And it's got a Rotten Tomatoes score, I believe, of 50, 55. It may be less. Indiana Jones 5 came on tracking just weeks after the world premiere at Cannes Film Festival in France, where it played out of competition. Somebody tell me what that means. Where it played out of competition. A victorious Ford, along with the rest of the cast and Mangold, happily walked the world's most famous red carpet. Keeping the film's series' ongoing Nazi theme alive, the story revolves around an ancient device being chased by Jones and the villain played by Mikkelsen. If this prediction is true, this is definitely bad news for Disney, bad news for Lucasfilm, and bad news for Indiana Jones franchise. Should this movie have been made? Probably not. Harrison Ford is too old for doing these movies, and I believe he came out and talked about how Indiana Jones isn't as fast, isn't as confident, isn't as adventurous as he was before, and that is not how you advertise a movie. Fans of Indiana Jones do not want to see an old, washed up, beat up Indiana Jones. Fans of the franchise don't want to see him on his last leg when he's absolutely at his worst. The movie opens up with him being divorced. That's in the trailers. That's not a spoiler. I could go on to spoil it, but go ahead and look for yourself. I've heard them. I've heard a few people talk of them, and it genuinely doesn't sound promising. It sounds rather nonsensical to me, but what do I know? I'll check out the movie when it comes out, but what do you think? If this is what the movie makes, but hey, they predicted Super Mario was only going to make $100 million in its opening weekend, and it blew that out of the water. Could this be an underestimation of the debut weekend for Indiana Jones and his final ride? Or does this spell doom for the franchise altogether? Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I appreciate you making it this far. Good night.